Okay, and in order to start, I'd like to tell you a brief about ECS. So most of you would have heard about services like EC2 and means containers like Docker and all. So basically, if you are going for orchestration and all, and if you want to scale high, basically if you want to have highly scalable and high performance and if you want to have a orchestration server also, then you can go with the Kubernetes and all. So means still you will need some server where you will set up this orchestration tools and all. However, ECS is basically a serverless, it's a serverless service which will handle all these things and which will help you orchestrate all the containers, and means it will. It also supports Docker containers, so you can directly push your Docker image and everything will be there. And yeah, so it's more about ECS, and it also eliminates the need of you to means, install and operate your own containers orchestration software to manage the cluster of the virtual machine which you will be hosting, like multiple you can say multiple containers. So yeah, so um, that's more about ECS. And if you are using ECS, then probably there will be a few terms like basically you may come across Fargate service. So uh, basically that Fargate help you launch means type of means basically create the task and schedule tasks in ECS. So I'll start with a demo so that I can explain you better. So I'll start. I'll share my screen. So let me share. Okay. Let me go to my AWS console. Yeah. So this is my AWS console, and if I click on the services section in compute, I'll find the ECS. You can find the ECS. So if you click on this, and it's quite easy, just in few clicks, if you can start, if you have a image already pushed into your ECR. Basically, ECR is your repository where you can push the basically container images, and you can directly pull the images into your container service and you can start the service. So let's begin the demo. So in order to get started, just click on this get started if you have not created any image. So let me switch to a region where I was creating few images. So yeah. So if you click on Get Started, you'll find a few examples where you can directly start with. So if you have a custom image, you can directly click on Configure. You can provide the image repository URL, then image and tag. And uh, so yeah, means you can set up the memory limit. You can means have a private repository also. So means it's all up to you what you want to do, and you can enable some ports and all. And on clicking after that, on clicking the update, you will just fill up this custom image. So for this example, just let me start with the Nginx example so that we can see what the basically Nginx means. We'll see a server running and we can see the Nginx welcome page after this service starts. So once you click on this Nginx and scroll down, you will find the task definition. So here you can define your basically your task. So what basically by task I mean means the task will be creating an EC2 instance in this case, and where it will be launching means your this Nginx server. So In order to define a task, you can define the name of the task. So I'll just rename it as Nginx demo. Nginx ECS demo. Then you need to have a role which will have a permission to basically to launch the EC2 instances and to manage all the services related to your configuration. So either you can directly create a new role, or if you have an existing role, you can use it. So I'll click on the create new role, and yes, uh, if you want to launch the capability with Fargate, by default it is I have selected the Fargate example, so it will be launching in Fargate. And we'll talk about Fargate in probably in the next session. So it will be more about what exactly the Fargate is. So for now, just think of Fargate as a basically as a, you can think of it as a launch type, um, uh, basically which will help you create a task and schedule task and configure the cluster in ECS console. So you can just for now just think of it like that. And in next session we will discuss a detail about Fargate. Okay. And here is the task memory and task CPU. So basically, always remember in ECS, these two are these two will define your pricing model. So according to your budget, you need to configure these things. So basically, basically your task memory and task CPU. If you are consuming more, you will be paying more. If you are having less, then you will be paying less. So it's like that. Just click on the save, and now click on the next. So as you see, means in top layer, it will be showing what you have completed and what on what task you are currently. So currently we need to define the service section. So here we can have our service name is engineering service, and number of desired tasks is one, and it will automatically create a security group. And if you want to have a load balancer, you can directly click on this, and it will enable a load balancer. So for this example, let me keep it none. And if you click on edit, you can directly edit in more detail. So yeah. Okay, so whatever I'm selecting is kind of free, but yeah, it will be paying. I'll be paying very less. I'll discuss about the pricing model in like 5-10 minutes. So hang on there. So yeah, so this is our security group definition, and here I have not selected any load balancer. I'll click on save, and then we'll move to next. So it will ask for a cluster name. So because I have used Nginx, so I have used demo, so I'll use Nginx demo. Okay. And I'll click on the next to create this complete model. Okay. Now I'll simply click on create, and it will create the cluster for me. So meanwhile, it is creating cluster. Let me show you the pricing model of it. So let me find a new tab. So there are two pricing model basically. One is target launched and one is like EC2 launch type model. So if you go with target launch model, the pricing will be quite low. It will be in 00 something. Yeah. So if you go to per GB size, basically this is the storage size, and it will be means as per this. And means the VCUs, as I was telling, means it will again means for example, I was using 0.25, I think 0.5, I think I was using. So it will multiply it according to that, and I will charged per hour based on that pricing. Okay. If I change the region to Northern Virginia, it will be almost this target spot instance price will change. Rest of the things will be same. As you can see, these are the available zones where you can use ECS. So most of the zones are means you can use the ECS in almost all the zones, all the regions, and yeah, so it's more about this. So as you can see, the pricing also less. So it's you need not to create one instance for this and do the orchestration. You can directly use ECS and start the orchestration of your Docker container. So let me go back to ECS dashboard where this our task has been completed, and now if I click on view services, I'll be able to see the detail of this task. So now in order to check whether means on which port means even if the our Nginx server is running or not, we can go and click on the task tab and then click on this task list. And if you this will open the details section of the task, and if you scroll down there will be network section, and in the network there will be public IP, so which is basically where your you can find your server running. So if you click on here, this are Nginx server, so it's like if you click my server was running because I was using Nginx predefined, this predefined image. However, if you have your own app, you can use a custom option and your Nginx, basically your custom application will start running. So we'll talk in detail about this. So meanwhile, if you have any query, you can ask. I'll stop sharing for a few seconds. Okay. Okay, can you hear me now better? I think most of the people are complaining about the audio sound, basically audio. So yeah, so if you have any query till now, you can just ask, or else we'll move to the next section. Basically, next section that will be yeah. So if you look at the ECS, basically, if you it's not about how cheap the cheaper ECS is, but also about how it makes your makes your basically uh, life easier when you are going with any other services which you are going to use for orchestration. Suppose you are going to use an EC2 instance and that itself goes down, then your complete orchestration means this service will go down. So means if you see there is an overhead of having a server which will be completely running to take care of the orchestration. So in short, if you want to miss when you are having a server to do the orchestration, even if your means orchestration that EC2 instances are means running properly, if your orchestration server itself goes down, then it will be a problem in a scaling, and basically management will become and monitoring will become a little tedious. So it's always better to have a ECS where you can simply use the CCS service to basically we'll say basically scale and orchestrate your containers. So this will help you over there. Means the pricing will be also cheap, and yeah. So yeah. So I'll explain you about the pricing model again. Let me share this screen. So yeah. So the pricing is basically based on your how much vCPU you use, and also how much space you are going to, how much GB you are going to consume. So for example, if you want to have very less GPUs, sorry, vCPU, then you will be paying very less. So when I was configuring my EC2 basically ECS service, then when I was defining the task, then I had created. Yeah, this one. So this one basically is how much basically memory I'm going to use, task, CPU unit. So this, according to these things, you will be charged. So, and in order to means define, you can just, when you are just creating a cluster, for example, let me do it once again. And when you click on any of this means create get started button, so you'll see these things like memory and the CPU. So these two parameters basically define how much you'll be charged. So for example, if it's like you are going to use 0.5 GB, so you'll be charged, it's like this, zero point 0.5 of this one. So it will be becoming 0.002. And the CPU, vCPU I was using was uh, 0.25. So if I go over here, so it will be multiplied to 0.25. So it will become 0.01 like that. So this is more about the pricing model of ECS. So if you have any query till now, just post it in the chat and I'll answer that. So yeah, means next question is Fargate or EC2. So Fargate is quite means better over EC2 model. So we'll have a complete session on Fargate, and means that will be next session. So we'll discuss more about the Fargate because it is quite important. So we have kept that in the next session. So we'll talk about the complete Fargate. How is it better than EC2? So you can think of it as a serverless section, and as it moves towards making things serverless, so it removes the management and monitoring and governance section. Okay, and okay, so I'll again explain the configuration part. Yeah, fine. So ECS and again means basically ECS and EKS. So EKS is completely towards Kubernetes, and ECS you can say that it is more towards the Docker level. So we'll have another session on this thing, so you'll understand better. So this session will more talk about the ECS. So it will be like that. Yeah. So next question is how multiple containers, how we can run multiple containers on ECS cluster, right? So in order to do that, I have just a few examples I have already there. So yeah, so multiple containers, if you ask me, right? So yeah, as I said that this is more towards Docker. So whatever image you are providing, it will be running on one image. So multiple images and basically multiple containers you can have according to your configuration. So it will be running only one image only. So if you have to run multiple images and all, you can go with EKS. So that's why I said means ECS is more like your Docker, and EKS is more like your Kubernetes. So here you configure everything and everything starts running. And basically in Kubernetes you will be having more orchestration, more basically there you will be spawning multiple servers. So like what you do in Kubernetes, and this is more like your containers, so it will be more towards your means running the complete package of the application. So basically running multiple services, configuring to multiple services, so it will be like running multiple service from one configuration and monitoring everything from one place. So it will be more around this. So basically ECS is more around that, and EKS is more around basically Kubernetes side. So basically the complete orchestration, so multiple spawning, those kind of things will go to EKS, and ECS will be more towards your Docker side. So multiple applications running in one configuration. So those kind of things you can take care from ECS. So basically, ECS is not better than Docker, but you can say the cloud implementation of Docker, so like that. And ECR is basically a repository. So for example, if you have used Docker, then you might have used a Docker repository where you will be pushing the image. So let me share my screen and let me show you. So yeah, so if you go over here and write, let me see. So if you see, right, it is Docker repository. So where you will push the Docker image, because you can push a Docker image in a normal repository. So here you will be pushing the Docker image. So basically, from once you have pushed any image into your Docker repository, so basically container repository, you can directly use that image from your ECS. So if you go and create cluster, if you go and click on get started, and if you go on this custom section, so you can directly means write the your repository name and the image and the tag, and you can start your building your containers from this image. Okay. So basically ECR is where you will push the images, and ECS is where you will pull the images from you from those means repositories, and then you will means as per your task definition, all those tasks will be done. So for example, right now what I did was I simply created one container, and the container was having nginx configured. So if I go to that task means which I created, uh, so if I go to the nginx service and the task, so you'll see that this is nothing but I have started one EC2 instance where all the things are running. So from here I can directly run multiple microservices which will be is doing some work for us. And in this case, if I go to my EC2 console, basically I see one repository with initials like EC, EC2, ECS, sorry. Okay, sorry, the launch type is target. So I will say that it will be like serverless. If I selected EC2 type, then it will be creating one EC2 instance where all those things will be running. And this one is means I have simply created one task for engineering server, so I need not to means worry about the server. So if you, for example, if you have created any server, so you basically you will be getting the server in the EC2 instance. Okay. So if I go to the task and if I go to this icon, I'll see that the instance this one will it will be running. So I'll be not paying any extra penny for the EC2 instance with this. However, an EC2 launch model will be paying. So for example, if you want to add any image to ECR, so for that, I think you will have to understand the Docker repositories. So if you have used Docker repository, it is similar to that. There's nothing else like tedious over here. If we go to ECR, create a repository, let me name it as demo repository. You can, if you want, you can enable these things. So tag immutability, so the tags will be not changeable, and scan for push. So these things, if you want, you can enable it. And simple, you can create this. And if you want to like understand how I can push this repositories and all, just click over here and it will guide. So this is how you can do it. So basically Docker will, this is like tag name, so hyphen T, then tag name. And this is current repository where I'll be posting those things. And then after the build is complete, you will need to tag it and then push to ECS repository. So this one is like normal Docker, basically you will be familiar with it. And after that, you can directly just push it to this repository. So that's how you can do it. And once you have pushed that, basically once you have tagged it, you can directly push it. So it's like if you have used Git, so instead that you just push use Docker push, and then the basically you can think this of as aliens, and this one is like basically here you don't have the branches and all, so it will be like you are pushing the image, so it's how you do in Docker. So I hope this one was helpful. So I'll tell you once again, so that's not a problem. And also, means I have means, thrown some code, which you can, if you want, you can go through it and launch your own repository. So I'll put those things in the chat section. So let's say, if you go to this repository, I'll share my screen. So if you go to this repository, so I forget from here. So this explains the complete flow, means how you can launch the complete application into your ECS cloud. So if you go to uh, this section, so here means in YML we can define the complete means infrastructure, what we are going to launch, where we are going to launch, what will be subnet, what will be the VPC siders. So all these things we can define in YML and directly means from the command, using the command, you can directly uh, push it to your repository. Means you can enable this ECS containers. Just like this. So for this, you need to install basically AWS CLI. So if you have Python installed in your system, you can directly run pip install and AWS CLI. It will install the AWS CLI on a server. Then you can directly configure it using AWS configure. So basically, it will configure your local machine with the secret key and basically your keys, and then it will ask for the reason and all. And I'll demo it how you can do it. Okay. Let me open my terminal. Yeah. Let me share my screen again. Okay, you can see this. Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, so I don't know what happened. So, so let me share again. Means let me show the basically how to create the ECS containers once again. Okay. So in order to create a cluster, you can go over here. You can basically go to your section. You can go to ECS, and then from ECS you can directly you will land over to the cluster, basically ECS dashboard, and you can click on get started. And if you have any image pushed into ECR, you can directly go over here and write the ECR repository URL and then image and tag, and it will be starting your image from there. Okay, but for this demo, let me start a sample app one. Okay, I'll click on the sample app, and then I'll means basically if you scroll down, you will see the task definition. So you can click on this in order to understand what exactly the task definition is. So here you will define your task. So demo is demo 2 out, right? Okay. And you need to select the basically task role, or if you want to create a new one, you can directly click on the create new role, and it will create a task role for you. So role is basically you can view this role in your IAM dashboard, and you can see the what permissions it has. So it will be basically having a permission to start the all the services which are required for an ECS to run. And then if you scroll down, this is vCPU, basically a task memory and task CPU. So you will be charged on the basis of these two parameters. So your basically your memory and CPU consumptions will be the factors which will decide how much you will be charged. Okay. So when you click on the save, it will start means it will save this complete configuration. When you click next, you will move to the services section, where you will define about the services which you are going to use. So basically in this case, number of desired tasks I want to have is only one. If you want, you can have like multiple desired task, where it will be running multiple, basically uh, for example multiple, so multiple nginx servers you want to run, you can use it from here. So let me do it multiple servers, so I'll go with two. Then the security group, if you want to you have any specific siders, you can use it. If you want to have a load balancer in your application, you can directly select the load balancer. So I'll create one load balancer, okay, for this demo, because in last demo we didn't check the load balancer part. So in this demo, I'll go with the load balancer. Okay. Now I'll click on the save, and since my all the configuration is now done, so I'll directly move to the cluster. I'll name it at ECS demo 2. Okay, and click on the next section. So all now all is set, and now we can directly click on create, and it will start creating our cluster. So it's as easy as that. And once this is ready, we can directly go to the dashboard, means basically the dashboard, and see what tasks has been created. So it's as easy as that. So Forget is basically uh, what do you say? So Fargate, you can think, means we have a complete detailed session on Fargate I think next session will be on Fargate only, where we'll talk about the exactly what Fargate is. So for now, you can think of it as a launch type, basically launch type of ECS, uh, where means basically uh, you select a launch type and according to that you create task and schedule task and configure. So these three things you do. Basically you can think of it as a launch type only for current scenario. And in next session we'll talk about what exactly the Fargate is, and how it is better than the another launch type, that is the EC2 launch type. Yeah, so I hope for now I answered your question. In next session you will understand and better what exactly the Fargate is. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the concept of task and all. So in order to understand the advantage, you can think of Fargate being a serverless. So the management will be very less, the cost will be better, and also the availability, everything will be better as compared to the EC2 model. Okay. So I hope means in brief, I means explained your query. Okay, so let's wait for some more time and let our instance become ready. So it's going to take some time. So meanwhile, we can go to our ECS dashboard and I'll show you where exactly you'll find all those things. So if you see, so for example, last one, this we are just now creating. So once it is up, all these things will be, I mean, it's basically running tasks will become 3, services will become, so now I think 3 in this case. So these are few of the containers which I have already created. So let me go to the last example. Yeah. And if you click on this and click on the task, yes, if you click on the EC2 while creating, then it will be shown on the EC2 dashboard. And for example, if you go on the task and if you click over here, so it will be the task definition, which has a complete detail of your cluster plus network detail and the containers which are having it, which you are using. Okay. And this public IP will be the IP where you can find your application running. So it will be like that. In means in the current example where we are using the load balancer, so you will have a load balancer URL also from where you can find the complete uh, applications detail. Okay. So if I go over here, there's a builder task. And this is the capability. And if you want to use JSON, for example, in the example which I was showing, means in the repository, I have used basically in the repository, it is basically JSON based example. So in I'm using a YML for means all the configuration and all. So you can directly use this kind of structure. Basically, I have a YML file for all definition, and you can directly push it. You can create your complete ECS infrastructure using this YML file. So I think our task definition will take some time to come up. So if you have any query, uh, just ping me on chat. else we'll end up the session now. Okay, so I have one query. Can you show how to monitor the cost for each EC2 instance? Okay, so basically, once the billing is done, so for example, right now I created, and in this instance, there will be not a single bill related to that. So it will be not shown currently. But for example, if you have started consuming ECS, then on your billing dashboard, you can find the complete list. So um, it's the same place where you find the all the other billing detail. So if you go over so for example here and click on the my billing dashboard, you will see the complete detail of how much you have consumed and what you have consumed. So all those information will be provided over here. Else you can go to your CloudWatch and at least see how it is running. So all those information will be provided on your CloudWatch. So for monitoring purpose, whether it was running and how much time it ran. And after that, you can check the complete consumption on your billing dashboard. So for example, I have not used that much in this account, so I'll be not getting that dashboard. So once it has ran for a day, you can say, then we'll have a proper basically dashboard where we'll be finding all the detail of your means how much consumption you have, and you can have an estimate of like how much you'll be charged. Okay, so I hope we are good for today, and next session we will talk about Fargate. We'll compare the Fargate and we'll also